In the World Wide Web, the nonsensical and illogical comments of the underworld are hunted by the detectives of the Dusty Comments email crime unit. These are their stories.
Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. Happy Lord's Day to everyone. Hopefully you had a fantastic Sunday. We got some breaking news, hot off the press, if you will. Uh, I didn't expect to because I had intended to come on live at like 8:45, but I found some shenanigans and I said, "Oh my goodness! If the best live chat does not deserve this type of shenanigans." Matter of fact, I'm gonna call myself Santa Claus. I am Santa Claus bringing you early Christmas presents under your shenanigan tree. And this one right here is for the books. Oh my goodness. But before we get too far afield, I want to say thank you to everybody who's already hit the like button, gone ahead and jumped in to the best live chat on the internet. You know your place. You're welcome here. Just make sure you say hey to everybody. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Jason. I give social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. And tonight we're going to be looking at Tiffany Henyard. Shock. But my goodness, in the morning, do we have some fun here? Okay. Oh my goodness. Somebody told me to check my email. Look, this live chat has gotten so proficient at keeping up with what all the shenanigans going on out here in the world. If somebody say check the email, that means check your email. All right. I don't see anything new at the second, but I think we've talked already. So I might have already seen what she was saying. But let me just double check real quick. Okay, yeah, I don't see anything at the moment. I think it's all earlier today. I thought I replied back to it, but I might be wrong. Anyway, thank y'all so much, everybody who's tapped in. I appreciate y'all. And with no further ado, we got to talk about this. So most of you all are familiar that Tiffany Henyard is running for not only the supervisor of, where's the black one? I like this one though, too. Where's the black one? Ha ha. All right. Oh, goodness. Here we go. There we go. All right. I'm trying to sway the vote here. Trying to stack the deck by trying to get her to. I like this hat. Okay, I see you, UGA. My girl got into the University of Georgia. She doesn't want to go yet though. She's not certain she wants to go. So we went to an event this morning and they gave us these hats. I think my wife has a black one. So I said, I'm gonna wear it on the show tonight, kind of sway the vote because I want her to go to University of Georgia. But anyway, most of you all know that Jason House is running for mayor of Dalton. Let me bring this in real quick so we can all look at it and kind of get a clear understanding of where we're going with this conversation today. So, okay, here's Jason House. Here's his team, if you will. We got Kiana Belcher. We got Tammy Norwood. We got Jason House. We got Edward Steve. And I forgot this young lady's name right here on the side. I forgot her name. Oh, she's a clerk. She's Allison Key. All right. So we got Jason House. He's running for mayor. Allison Key. She's the clerk. We got Brittany Norwood. Please forgive me. She's a trustee. Edward Steve. Shout out to Edward Steve is another trustee. And of course, Kiana Belcher. She's another trustee. We're familiar with these faces. We've seen them before. They're kind of staples in this shenanigan game, if you will, because we've rocked with them for a while. Now, it would behoove us to look at these people as kind of like Jason House's team. This is Team House 2025, Clean House 2025 is their moniker. And, shout out to that. It seems like a really promising, if you will, platform and such like that. Again, they are Democrats, but I'm willing to acknowledge if somebody's trying to do the right thing, I try my best to be a fair dealer, even though I might not agree with you 100% ideologically. I'm willing to be a fair dealer. And I think no matter what, I think it's fair to say that Dalton needs some good leadership. So even if, and I'd say even if I've seen many interviews with Edward Steve. If Edward Steve is running, I got this feeling they're going to be in good hands. I really feel that. And you got Kiana Belcher. She's been doing a lot for the district. You know what? I think they're in really good hands. So you add Jason House to it. I've never seen anything about him that would make me think that he's less than a stand-up gentleman that wants to do the right thing for the community of Dalton. You know what? I'm willing to give him, even though he rocks blue, I'm willing to give him the grace and acknowledge, like, hey, Dalton needs some good leadership. So this is Team House. Okay. If y'all good in the chat, just go and write house like we usually do when we're rocking Morehouse. By the way, I got my Morehouse sweater on. Shout out to the house. We're gonna just put house in there. All right. So that's their team. Okay. Lo and behold, earlier today, Lady Tiffany Henyard, she dropped her team. And so we're gonna go over this team right here. And oh wait, it's a plane. Sorry, it's a little video. All right. We're gonna go over this team real quickly and just kind of get your feel, get your thoughts, get your opinions, and the such like that, especially as we are the unincorporated Dalton residents, non-taxpayer Dalton residents that we are. I figure we can check this out, and I'm ready for the documentary on WGN to come up at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, NBC Chicago 5. Sorry about that. I got it ready. It's already queued up on the side, so we already got it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to save all of my questions because I already see some of them already showing up in the chat. So y'all stop it. Stop it, Dwayne. Stop before I put you in 0-second timeout. Stop it. What I want you to do is I just want you to notice there's a theme through Tiffany's team. Now there's an obvious visual theme as well, but I just want y'all to please kind of roll with me, and let's see if we can see this together. We can all pick it out together. Let me just bring this over here because I do have to make this a little bit bigger for me to read. All right, so of course this is our team, and this is on their Instagram, by the way. All right, so the first person we have, of course, is Tiffany Henyard. So real quick. All right. She's the mayor of Dalton. We know that, of course. That's why most of us even are involved in this. She's the mayor of Dalton and the Thornton Township supervisor. Manage $70 million annually. That's a weird sentence because it's not properly formatted, but I digress. I digress. Now this is interesting as well. She's a lifelong Dalton resident, graduated from Thornton High School and Robert Morris University with a bachelor's of science. She doesn't say exactly what her BS is in, which I think is kind of interesting. I would think you'd want to really showcase that and let people know, like, hey, this is what I'm about. This is also interesting. A lot of you all talked about this. The Good Burger. And at the bottom, she says she's CEO of Good Burger, daughter Justice. I'm not certain who told her to write this. I'm not certain. And I'm not certain that person who told her to write this is actually her friend, because this is grammatically and syntax wise is not formatted correctly. And it's not very, it doesn't tell us much about you. It tells us much about your accomplishments, sure. $70 million, daughter of justice, so on and so forth. But who are you? Why should we support you? But now we're going to get into some of her dream team, if you will. And all right, so the next one up the bat, and this is Miss Jocelyn King. All right, administrative assistant at Thornbridge High School and formerly at Thornton Township, overseeing 8 departments and a $20 million annual budget. 2 sons, Joaquin and Marilyn, member of Family Christian Center. All right. So I just want y'all to save all of your commentary, because we're going to pull them all up. We're going to talk about them. Just save them, because I don't want them to get lost while we're going through. So this is I guess this would be this is going to be a trustee. Miss King is going to be a trustee for Dalton. Sorry about that. All right, now we got Miss Clark. All right, and we're gonna look at Miss Clark. We're gonna see what Miss Clark is about. Pull it up on my side over here. Just make it a little bit bigger for me to read. And I'll leave this, and of course, this is on their Instagram. So we go to Dalton Politics Instagram. You see all these people. This is a supervisor and general assistant department at Thornton Township, manages $3 million budget, and assesses 5,000 families. 37-year Dalton resident, and Purdue and so sub college. I wasn't certain what that was. Um, and I wasn't certain what she was trying to say with that. Purdue and so sub. That's got to be a name of a college that people understand. But that's an Associates of Arts degree. Mm. And she's a member of Valley Kingdom Ministries International. All right. So this is going to be the clerk. This is the clerk for Team Henyard in Dalton. Okay. So it wasn't the Thornton clerk. Because remember, she didn't have an assessor, but this is the Dalton clerk. And now we got Miss Linda Terrell. Let's see what Miss Terrell is about. All right. Real quick, Miss Terrell. She's a licensed educator at District 205. All right. Co-trustee for 30 years in Illinois, banking, overseeing millions in private funds, 35-year Dalton resident, earned her BS and MS degrees, 6 adult children and 7 grandchildren, member of Family Christian Center. And she's going for a trustee. So she wants to take Ed Steve's place. All right. And we got 2 more. All right, this is another trustee. And let me pull it up on my side. Just makes it, I'm reading it from a larger screen. This is Miss Vanessa Wesco, and she's a business owner, strategic and financial management uh, partner, coordinator at Thornbridge High School, and volunteer coach. 14-year Dalton resident, earned her BS and MBA, 2 children, member of Covenant Community Church. Okay. You know what I probably should do? I should go over and read over the stats of Team House. Thank you. I will do that as well. When we get done, we'll compare them and see who do we have here. We'll do that as well. Yeah, I appreciate y'all saying that. That was a good one. I picked that up. All right, so this is Team Henyard. This is Tiffany's dream team. All right, this is the all right. So what I want you to do right now in the chat, what did you notice about Tiffany's team? There's an obvious one, y'all. Go ahead and jump in with the obvious one. We already know. But did you notice something about Tiffany's team? I saw that. I did see that. I think that's a great question. These are some great, see, now, these are the questions this is why. That was one of the things. I did not hear one person talk about them being married. Now, again, no slight on single women or single moms. No slight on them at all, because there's single moms on Team House. So let's got to be fair. But I didn't hear anybody talking about them being married. But that's another thing, though. Let's keep going. All right. I don't see where their qualifications are. I think, well, one reason, and I'm sure somebody's going to mention it. One reason for sure is that, being the fact that we know how grimy Tiffany Henyard is, how grimy do these women have to be? Like, what are these women about that they are okay keying and co-signing this administration? Like, either A, we've missed something. Everything that we've seen is fake news and all that kind of stuff, clickbait, as Tiffany says, or these women are just as grimy as she is, that they would align themselves with her. But did anybody else pick something else up about the 4 women? Okay. Yeah, I didn't see anything about them being married. But I mean, we're going to look at Jason Houses as well. So we're going to look at Jason House, and we're going to give them, we got to give Jason House the business too. Let me pull it back up. Make sure we go over their schematics too. Give them a little bit of business. Let me pull this up. Make sure I got it ready. Oh my gosh, why is it so small? Who hurt y'all? Why y'all writing this small like that? Good gracious. I didn't realize how small the print was. My word. All right. Yeah, I'll bring it in a second. There you go. You called it out. They are all good church going ladies. I did think that was interesting that every last one of them highlighted that they went to church, except Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany didn't say that she attends a church. Does that matter? Is that going to be the reason why people don't elect her? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I just thought it was interesting that all these 4 women that she brought on, good, bad, or indifferent, they all mentioned that they were members of churches, and they all were members of different churches. They weren't members of the same church, which is interesting. I think we're going to look at Jason House's team as well. We got to look at Team House. Now that I didn't, I should have planned that when I put together the slideshow. I should have had that ready. But we're going to look at Jason's team as well and see what their education level is. Because keep in mind, none of these women have ever been trustees or clerks or the such like that. So they're going to already come in on their back foot. Whereas Team House, they've actually been in this role and this position. Let me bring this back on. They've already been in these positions. Edward Steve has been a trustee. So is Miss Norwood. So is Kiana Belcher. They've all been trustees. So therefore, they're already going to come in with a much better skill set than the others. But my goodness, and more, y'all, I can't read that. Let me. This is that text. What in the world? What in the world, Jason? Y'all fix that. Come on, man. Jason House, y'all make that text bigger. All right, for mayor. Let's go ahead and read Mr. House's schematics a little bit, see what he's about. All right, let's see him move this over some. All right. All right, here we go. Elect Jason House as a new mayor and transform Dalton's future. As a lifelong resident and dedicated 8-year senior trustee, Jason House has demonstrated unwavering commitment and proven leadership. His vision for Dalton is rooted in transparency and integrity and active community engagement. With Jason at the helm, we will prioritize your needs, foster open communication, and invest in sustainability development, and create a vibrant and inclusive environment for everyone. Let's come together and build a stronger, more resilient Dalton where every resident can thrive. Vote for Jason House to lead us into a brighter future. Okay, what y'all think about that? I like that. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's a narrative. I like that. Y'all know I like when they put it together in a very clear and concise method. And that's, of course, Jason is running for mayor. Get myself out of here. Let's do it like this. Bang. Okay. It's a little bit better. That's even better. All right. Now let's go and read about the clerk. This young lady is running for the clerk, and her name is Miss Allison Key. Committed to community, dedicated to service. Re-elect Allison Key for village clerk. With decades of experience in compliance and record keeping, Allison ensures that every detail counts and every voice matters. Her expertise and dedication are vital to maintaining transparency and efficiency in our local government. Support Allison Key for a future where our community thrives on precision and inclusivity. What y'all think about that? Okay. And I also like the fact that she made it clear, re-elect, because I've done this job before, whereas everybody else on Team Henyard are all wishing on a star. All right, let's keep going. Brittany Norwood. I like Brittany. I do like her. I like the way she be getting at him. She be getting at him, though. Brittany Norwood, empowering our community and youth. Re-elect Brittany Norwood for a brighter future. As a seasoned real estate broker, Brittany brings invaluable expertise to our village. Her commitment and to enrichment programs and real estate education ensures that our community and youth have the tools they need to succeed. Support Brittany Norwood for a future where opportunities and growth are within everyone's reach. Okay, I can get down with this. I mean, I think they did a good job. Here go Edwards. Oh, by the way, Brittany is running for trustee, by the way. Good. What's up, Ed Steve? I want to talk to Ed Steve. I like him. He's the gentleman that runs the Trustees of Dalton or Dalton Trustees YouTube channel. And I think he does also their Facebook page as well. He has like he has a background in multimedia communication and visual arts and such like that. Shout out to Ed Steve. Now, I noticed this also. Everybody on Team House is leaning on their actual work expertise that drives the actual day-to-day of Dalton. Now, granted, these other people, they have to like build up the momentum, but these ones already have the momentum. I do think that's going to be a big, that's going to be big deciding. But let's go. Harnessing the power of communication to unite and empower our community. Elect Ed Steve for a stronger future. Everybody has a tagline. Everybody has a definitive tagline that is very clear to understand. You know exactly what they're about. Let me make myself smaller. That doesn't look good, Jason. That looks terrible. All right, let's give Ed Steve some shine. I like that they all have a very clear call to action, a very clear mission statement, if you will. There's Jason down at the very bottom. Okay, let's go. Elect Ed Steve for a stronger future. As a seasoned communication and media expert and a resilient multiple sclerosis MS survivor, Ed Steve brings unparalleled dedication and insight to this role. His expertise will ensure that our community remains informed and united. Reformed, and let me start that again. Remains informed, united, and empowered. Support Ed Steve for leadership that champions clear communication and demonstrates an unwavering strength and commitment. Okay. All right. Okay. I ain't mad at him. Okay. Look, let me tell you this right here. Go ahead now. All right. Now, y'all, I know somebody said they don't like Kiana. Y'all, I'm going to have to put y'all in 0-second timeout. I like Kiana. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, Ed Steve is a MS. When he says survivor, I think he's saying he's dealing with it. I don't think he's saying it's cured. Because I've heard him recently, as in like a couple weeks ago, mention that he still deals with and battles with MS. So there's definitely no argument there about that. Let's go talk about Kiana, and she's going to be another trustee. So she's currently a trustee and she's running again. Oh yeah, look, I'm Team Kiana. I like all of them. And look, I'm put the ask out there. I will talk to anybody in Dalton that wants to come on the channel. I will have a good conversation with them, and I'm willing to do that. So let's go. Kiana Belcher, bringing expertise to action. Re-elect Kiana Belcher for trustee with expertise, excellence in balancing multi-million-dollar budgets, and exceptional research abilities. Kiana Belcher is a proven leader. We need her financial acumen and unmatched contract negotiation skills ensure that every decision is made with precision and integrity. Support Kiana Belcher to continue bringing her expertise to our community and drive effective, transparent governance. I think she did a great job. I like that. I like it. Shout out to them all. Okay, so again, so this is the Clean House 2025 team. Now notice here, they didn't talk about their church membership. They didn't talk about where they got their bachelor degree from or anything like that. They just talked about what they bring to the table and why you should elect them to run this particular aspect of Dalton, the governance of Dalton. What did y'all think? What y'all think about it? I think they did a great job. I like Team House's representation. I do think that Team Henyard, that I'm sure they bring new blood to the situation, but given the fact that Tiffany Henyard is such a polarizing character, you got to wonder what kind of woman these people, what kind of women these are that would hitch their horse to this cart or hitch their cart to this horse, whichever way you want to use the analogy. You got to wonder, like, what kind of person, what kind of women are these? Let me bring them back in. Who are these people? I mean, being the administrative assistant at a high school is different than being a clerk. Being like, what are these women like? And then I guess another question is that I would ask about Tiffany Henyard is she has a lot of support right now, like Andrew Holmes, was that us, Stan Brown. She has them right there. Why are they not in here? Why did she choose? Why, why she choose 4 women? It just seems very interesting to me. It seems okay. That's different. And why? Where's Stan Brown? Where's Dots? Where's any of your other supporters? Why is Kamal Woods not up here? Well, I think we all know that those are some shady characters. So are these the less shady, or is this just a shady we don't know yet type of women? I'm going to give the internet streets probably until tomorrow by tea time before we all know all the ins and outs about these people. So my question is Dalton going to side with the team that has brought them to the dance, minus the, because I don't think anybody's ever said that this is the woman, by the way, that Tiffany Henyard locked out of, if I'm not mistaken, she locked her out, and as a clerk, locked her out of her office and fired her out of Dalton. But I don't think anybody's ever said that these people don't know how to do their jobs. I don't think anybody's ever said that. And I think you have a balance of current trustees. You got Norwood and Belcher, who are current trustees. Most recent trustee just recently was not elected, Ed Steve. This young lady's actually the clerk now too. So yeah, she's still clerk. And Jason is a trustee. So they've been in this job, not just a job that's similar, like, oh, I work for a big accounting firm in Chicago. That's different, but they actually work in this role. So I think that's going to be interesting. So I'm just wondering with that, how will that lace up with this? With none of these women are in any government situations except Tiffany, and we already know that's why we're having a conversation. None of these women actually work in the government sphere, unless I miss something. So if that be the case, who has a better bench? Who has a better starting 5? Whatever analogy you want to use. I think starting 5 will probably be right. Who is a better starting 5? I mean, I think Kiana Belcher, with just the fact of what she said about her contract negotiations, and we know that Dalton is going to be in a world of economic hurt once Tiffany Henyard is removed and the light is shined on exactly how bad this place was in. You're going to need somebody who's really able to negotiate and get them moving in the right direction. I mean, the little bit of the Dalton board meetings that I've paid attention to, I've seen nothing from Kiana Belcher that would make me think that she was not able to do what she just said here of negotiating contracts and getting people, businesses into the district, which would into the town, which would of course bring in revenue from taxes and other means. So I think she's got it. You talk about communication. I mean, transparency. Like Ed Steve, I mean, he's crushing it. Matter of fact, a lot of what we know about Dolton is because of Ed Steve. So I agree. I think they're doing it. They're setting them up for the right thing. And I mean, again, Brittany Norwood, she's a current trustee. I haven't heard anything about her. If you've heard something about her, not just speculation, because now we could always speculate like, oh, they were all on Team Tiffany when she was running for mayor. That's true. They did support her and they did help her because they thought that she was going to go in one direction. As soon as she became mayor, she went in another direction, and they tried to recall her within 2 months. So they recognized, just like Chris Gonzalez, they recognized that, yeah, siding with her was a wrong move. So I'm not saying like speculation and conspiracy, but show me that they're really not qualified to do the job. I mean, she's literally doing the job right now. Most of these people are doing the job at the moment. Jason is mayor pro tem. So when Tiffany Henyard doesn't come to meetings, Jason is de facto the mayor. So, I mean, he's done an excellent job as far as I know. I would love to connect with people who live in Dalton. Um, oh, does she work for the township? Did I misstate that? I apologize then, Tanya. Then if Miss Hughes, let me bring that up. Which one's Miss Hughes? Yeah, that thing is that font is too small, Jason. I don't know what you were thinking, bro. Bruh. All right, that's Miss King. She's at the high school. Okay, she works. You're right. Mm, okay. And now starting to think about I'm trying to think about that whole move that you can't be on two ballots that they did at the caucus. I was just wondering about that, by the way. Um, that's gonna be interesting because she'll probably, unless she's on Napoleon Harris's slate, she's gonna probably lose that role. But I digress. I don't want to get too far off topic. But oh no, no. I hope I didn't say that. No, no, actually I didn't say. I hope I didn't say that going to church makes you a good person. I really don't think that's the case at all. Um, I only just thought it was interesting that to round out their I thought it was interesting that all four of them mentioned that they go to church. And let's just say that they really are good people. Why did you side yourself with Tiffany Henyard? But let's just say they're really not good people. Then why are you mentioning that you attend church? I just thought that that was very interesting because you don't see that in Jason House's team at all. And I thought that was interesting that they chose that as their rounding out their action, the call to action, if you will. Whereas you see on Jason's team, they start with a call to action, they end with a call to action about why they want you to vote for these people. Tiffany, and I'm sure they're going to probably go back and rewrite it. They'll come up with another one, and I'm sure it'll get better. But I think Jason and them started out with their foot in the right position of this is why you should vote for me. They're a solid team, and as a resident, I want them to be the ones that begin to rebuild. So, if you don't mind, Tanya, because I think we've talked before, and you've been in the chat before. You're a resident of Dalton, am I correct? If you want, let me know. I'll drop that link. You can come up on here. Um, I would love to hear your opinion on this, and I think she summarized it here, but I'd like to hear a little bit more. They're a solid team, and as a resident, I want them to be the ones that begin rather the rebuilding. So let me know, Tanya. I would love to hear your commentary about it. Yeah, I've never I've always thought Jason seemed like a pretty straightforward dude. Um, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, I'm just reading through lots of good commentary back and forth. I always appreciate the family reunion going back and forth. Thank you so much, Status Quo. Thank you. Appreciate you. 30 years in Dalton. Oh, you know you got some stories. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick because I think this is something, and I want to hear what y'all think about it. And you all know when I went through Fonnie Willis versus Courtney Kramer here in Fulton County, Georgia, I talked about I really don't think being silent on social media is good in the current day and age that we're in. Now, in about 27 minutes, we're gonna flip over here and watch this NBC special on Tiffany Henyard. And I don't think it's gonna be favorable to her at all. However, I think, in my opinion, I want to know what y'all think about this. In the world that we're currently in, people don't trust mainstream media anymore. After the previous election, there's a lot of people that don't trust mainstream media, and they get their media from their news from a lot of different sources. And that being the case, in my opinion, Jason House and his team need to be doing interviews and podcasts and in front of camera and talking, not to combat. Because if you notice here, they don't say anything about the negative things going on in Dalton in their, hold on. Here, they don't do anything negative about what's going on in Dalton. They're just talking about why they want to be the leaders, the mayor, the clerk, the trustees, which I think is very smart. Oh, that's all they got to do. That's all they got to do is just get on camera. You have a, um, you got the best piece of digital content creating right in your hand. Just turn on the camera and just talk for a few minutes. This is Jason House. I'm here at the whatever food bank. There's a woman that bought like a whole shopping mall, and it breaks my heart to think about it because she bought an entire dead shopping mall. If you know me, I hate dead buildings, and so I'm always like, I tell my family, like, if I ever became an elected official, I'm going to do something about dead buildings. I hate them, and I want something to happen to them. I want something to either get rid of the building or turn it into something, right? And I forgot the lady's name. She's a doctor, somebody, and she bought an entire shopping mall, and she had like a food pantry. She had a thrift store and all these great ideas. And she did like a walkthrough, and it was really powerful. Super, Dr. Scott, free indeed. Thank you so much. And it was really powerful. I'm like, that's what, hey, look, we're going to have single moms at least do something like that powerful that could support them and maybe help them. It's like an after school program. She had every square foot of that building was going to be used. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of dope. I love that. And somebody, I'm not going to say who it was. I ain't going to say who it was, but her name rhymes with Henyard, refused to allow her to open up the food pantry and all of these other things. And she had grants coming in that would have supported it. It was really sad. But the fact that Tiffany did something so gross and then had the audacity to try to get the city to open up a second food pantry when they already had Dr. Scott's food pantry on hold. Like, just let Dr. Scott do it. Why do you need to open up another food pantry? Those kind of real simple things. Jason should get out there and just dog her out, not dog her out, but talk about this and show people this. Get some drone footage around that thing and show like this is what Dr. Scott wants to do. And I will let her do this day one. That's it. That's all you gotta do. How many single moms are in? How many single moms are in? Well, I need you, Lee, to pray for my daughter, man. My daughter got in, but she dragging her feet. She ain't feeling it like that. Lead, I need you to help me out, man. Help me out. Help her out, man. Because otherwise, and she's my girl, so she can't go to Morehouse. So help me out, man. Help me out some way. Good shout out, y'all, real quick in the chat. Lead attorney is definitely by and far a mentor to this channel and really has helped me get so much better at live streaming. If y'all could just shout out Lee, just put TLA in the chat and just let him know we appreciate him stopping through tonight. And go dogs, go dogs. Yes, and but back to my point. Yes, she blocked it so much that they couldn't even do like roof repairs, and they couldn't even do like simple things. Couldn't bring a dumpster to start clearing out junk. It was craziness. It was craziness. Yeah, my big girl, President Firstborn, she did get in. Let me see. Oh, she in the kitchen. Bird. Oh, she might not be. Let me text her. I will hold on to this one, Lee. Thank you so much. But I just think that, shout out to Lee. Thank you so much. And I just think Jason, it's a long story, but it didn't work. It didn't work. Caustic Chameleon. It didn't work out well. But I just think Jason, man, could crush it. All he has to do is just talk about the great things that they're going to do in Dalton. That's it. The small businesses that are going to be able to be open, the backlog of business licenses and liquor licenses and all this stuff that are being held up for no reason. There's no reason. And look, we're gonna help them get kicked off. Like that's all you got to do. Just come in there and just talk about it day upon day upon day. And everybody know, like, oh man, that dead building over there, that thing's gonna be a whole food pantry and a after school care and a woman's shelter. Oh man, that little barber shop over there, he's gonna be able to open up as soon as Jason gets in. Uh, that's all they gotta do. And it sparks, then, as Jason said right here, vote for Jason House to lead into a brighter future. That's the end of his statement. And at the current moment, so if it's going to be a brighter future, that means that there's some light, but not a lot of light. Is that fair? So I'll just do my visual here. All right. So there's some light, but it's not a lot of light. So if I elect Jason House, it's going to be a brighter future, right? That's all you got to do. Jason could crush it. And you don't even have to talk about Tiffany. All you got to do is just talk about what we're going to do. We're about to fix some things. We're about to come up in here and make some things right. And they're already doing things. So it's not like this pie in the sky. I'm wishing on a star, hoping that I can do it. No, they already know the things that are probably wrong. And maybe lay out like a plan. Like, this is going to be my 10 things that we're going to be doing in the first 10 weeks of my administration. There you go. There will be full transparency. Everybody will know how good or how bad the budget is. And it's going to be probably messy. It's going to probably be nasty. When they finally get in there and look at them real books and get the real budget numbers, they're going to probably see like, oh, yeah, about that, we're in trouble. They might see it, but they're going to be open and transparent. Just be open and transparent with them. We're going to have board meetings. We're going to do coffee times with the trustees or whatever, tea with the trustees and meals with the mayor. I don't know, but he could just come up with some really fantastic ideas and crush it. Because please keep in mind, Team Henyard, these people are not, this is Team Henyard's, Tiffany Henyard's team. They don't have the background. They don't have the bona fides. Their feet are not already, they've not already tread this path already. This is going to be new territory for them. We don't know that you're going to be able to do these things that you're saying. And that's all Jason and his team need to do. That's it. Just keep pointing out, like, you don't even have to say their names. Don't talk about them. Don't drag them through the mud. These women might be really good people and they're just trying to do something and get a come up. I don't know. But then again, they might be as dirty and as rotten as Tiffany. Who knows? But what we do know, Jason, what we do know is that y'all have a better plan and you're already doing the job. That's it. Just make a lot of hay out of it. That's it. In my opinion, that's what they need to do. Man, thank you so much, Lee. He says, if I had a kid, it'd be my number one educational dream that she got into UGA. That really speaks highly of you and your wife, DWC, for parenting. You have done amazing. Well, thank you so much. Well, she's texted me that she's doing her laundry. So I told her to come down here, but thank you so much, Lee. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, like that's craziness that people are literally being impeded from opening up a business in Dalton that would bring in tax revenue, that would bring in foot traffic and such like that. Because again, they're only 40 miles from Chicago. They're just a stone's throw away from Chicago and such like that. So the attraction is there. It's just you don't have anything to attract them. And why are you not encouraging and sparking this and the other? I do think this is interesting, and this is my only critique of both of them, both team Henyard as well as Team House. They don't have any other people groups on their teams. And I think that might be because, Dalton is like 69, 70% black. But there are some Latinos there, and there are white people there. There are other people groups there. I just think it would be good, just for the optics sake, maybe to have some other people that were not black. But that's just my little 2 cents. I still think that Team House has much better. They got better vets. They got better. There's some people who've been in the ring a time or 2 or 5, not just in theory. Because Tiffany does have some people on her team that have actually done these jobs, But I think on Team House, they're definitely much more seasoned. Actually, everybody has been a trustee on this team. So whether again, I think that's got to stand out that everybody has been in this role. That's interesting. All right, let's see what we got. This mess, thank you so much, Tanya. This mess has so many tentacles, and the trustees have been diligently working for the last few years, challenging this administration. And I'm no political consultant. Don't play one on TV, but hey, look, nor am I, but I'm willing to, I can see some things. I call myself a political strategist, so I can see some things. Tiffany dominates the news cycle, and I want to see trustees message. There we go. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like I've put the ask out there. I literally have emailed Jason House. I emailed Edward Steve, and I bought a Clean House 2025 hoodie. So it should be here soon. Like I said, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I bought the hoodie. Can I get an interview? Because I do think that them talking, because again, I think same thing with Fonnie Willis. Tiffany Henyard is going to benefit from the fact that all news is good news. All all talking about me is good, whether it's bad or good. I think because she's staying in the zeitgeist, these gentlemen right here and ladies need to get themselves out there. And we're gonna turn around in a few minutes and watch the whole Tiffany Henyard takedown video from NBC Chicago. Let me hold on. I didn't close out that window. Y'all pray for your boy. Y'all pray for me. How did I do that? All right, I got it ready. I'm queued up now. But yeah, I think, and I would love, and again, I'm not even being funny, even though I don't live in Illinois, I think that there are a lot of people from the unincorporated, undocumented Dalton residents that would love to have an interview and hear Kiana Belcher talk. They would love to hear Ed Steve. I want to talk to Ed Steve. Shout out to Ed Steve. I want to talk to Jason House because he has a good name and his last name rocks too. Go House. But I would love to talk with them and give them an opportunity to talk about their vision and what they see in Dalton and what they want to see happen in the future. I think most of us, again, are kind of bought into it, like kind of in a weird kind of way. We're all kind of supporting them from afar, whether we buying hoodies or we're just checking out the videos, we're going to like it or whatever, praying for them. We are all kind of sort of, again, we're all Dalton residents to some degree, just like we were all Fulton. Come on, we were all YSL for a while. We was all talking slime and slat. Come on, don't lie. I know. I still got my green hat over here. So we were all, so we've all bought in to some degree, shape, or form. And that being the case, girl, don't you even worry about it. Look, I ain't got my glasses on, so I probably couldn't even tell those typos. I don't know why don't I have my glasses on? But I think I would love, again, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna put the ask out there, put it out there. I'd love to talk to anybody on Team House. And you know what? I'd even be willing to talk to anybody on Team Henyard. If they would want to talk and have a conversation, I'm gonna ask some tough questions. I'm gonna push back, but I'm not gonna take no comment as an option. But if they would want to talk, I talk to them and just hear and give you all a chance. I think again, we are all kind of here we go. So real quick, Bird, I just want you to see what somebody said about you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
You're such a turkey. Get out of here.
I found out something not disturb. I didn't see.
You are disturbed. All right, this is President Firstborn, everybody. Thank you so much. Are you okay? Are you? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Have a hug.
Sure. Because I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not I'm not talking to folk and stuff.
You're not talking to people. You're talking to yourself, and people are watching you.
Why are you like this? Why do you say these hard
clock?
Why are you talking to me like this? Why are you like this? All right.
You having a good day today?
I'm having a great day. You've been with me most of the day.
That's true, and I know you loved every second of it.
Please go away. Bye. Bye, babe. Love you. All right. President Firstborn, ladies and gentlemen. President Firstborn. All right. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm missing some places. I agree. Clean house. Clean it. And I got to give him a shout out because I just thought the whole name, using his name, House, he's running for mayor 2025. I think he hit everything on all cylinders with that one. I don't know who came up with that name, if that was his name, if it was a marketing agent or whatever like that, but I think that was that was good. That was well done. Okay, what we got here? I don't think wait, do we? Okay, status quo. I recommend that we look into the actual qualifications for a trustee of Illinois and how it does not require law expertise. Okay. I was elected town mayor in my state and had no actual law training. Thankful. Okay. No, I don't think that they had to. And as far as I know, um, I don't know, and I'd have to look into it a little bit more, but I don't know if I don't think you need to be a lawyer at all. Let's just say it like that, because we know lawyers that are not good. We know, but we got TLA in the house, so we do know some good lawyers. So there's that. But I totally get you there. I'm not certain Jason really wanted to be mayor. I think he thinks that he's needed right now. He doesn't seem to crave the attention. That is a very keen observation, Wyoming gal, because when he became mayor pro tem, I noticed that he's not doesn't seem like he wants to be out front and center. Matter of fact, look at this picture right here. Like, hold on one second, bring it back this way. I mean, in the picture, he's in the middle. He should be in the middle if he's the mayor, trying to be the mayor, the attention seeker. He's not, and I think that's fine. I don't want him to be an attention seeker. The attention should be on the residents of Dalton. Because I mean, we all have seen what Tiffany Henyard does. We've seen that foolishness. Hold on one second. We've seen that clown show. So there's definitely the give and take, if you will. And I'm trying to pull up that okay, because we could have Dalton could have a leader like this, where literally every flyer, let me make it bigger, every flyer is a picture of her. Everything that she puts out is a picture of her, has her name on it. Her name is sometimes bigger than the actual event, a lot of times. So, I mean, we could have that. Or we could have Jason kind of keeping it in the middle of the road, focusing on other people. But literally, this is what she's about. And so I can rock with Jason. I can rock with him for sure. Yeah, Illinois is a special kind of beast. They're a special kind of beast, man. I ain't mad at them, but man, they are special. Let me pull in this article. Let me pull this in, make sure we're ready for this. All right, we got it ready. Okay. Um, it said about 8 minutes. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, it says about 8 minutes before it starts. So we'll just be patient. All right. So yeah, man, I thought that was gonna be fun. Yeah, I mean, we're all unincorporated Dalton. We are all undocumented Dalton residents. Now I do suggest that you not go down there trying to vote. Don't be trying to do some mail-ins and stuff like that. But we're all Dalton residents. We all are kind of interested in this, for good or for bad, train wreck, or we want to see it prosper. I mean, we like seeing this type of stuff, and knowing that a lot of us have been rocking with it for a while. I mean, I've been talking about Tiffany Henyard for almost a year, probably even longer than that. I can't remember what my first video on her was. That's actually probably been longer than a year, but you got my point. But I think Jason would do himself a strong service by just doing some quick videos. And again, Ed Steve or any of the others could do it as well. And I think it would help them out a lot because again, they thank you so much, TLA. Thanks so much, man. But I mean, we are again, I should get a shirt and say undocumented Dalton resident. Like that's us. We are Dalton residents, and I think we would like to hear, in a funny way, we would like to hear from our future mayor and the trustees and the clerks. We'd like to hear from them, like hear what they got, what's their plan, what's their vision, what's going on. You know, what's going on over there on 83rd Street? What's happening over there? What's going on with that? I think we'd like to know. Even though, again, I strongly disagree with you going over there trying to vote. Don't be trying to do that. Oh man, she crushes me all the time. She's gonna keep me on my knees praying. All right, what'd she say? Oh, she does. That's what she wants to do. She wants to go to law school. No, I don't think she did. I don't think Courtney really wanted to be DA of Fulton County. I don't think she really wanted that. It sounded good on paper. It looked good. There was a need for it. Nobody's arguing that part. But I just don't think that she really wanted to do that. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see any reason to believe that she really wanted to run point for Fulton County like that. Let's see. They say 3 minutes. So let's bring this in. Is this right? Am I sharing it right? All right, got it. Let's put this in. Let's get ready to talk about it. We have the Tiffany Henyard documentary tonight. This should be interesting. Tiny said it is not going to be favorable to one Tiffany Henyard. All right, we're going to see. We're going to see. Shout out to Regina Waldrop. She is the reporter that's running point on this. So we'll see how it goes. And let me make sure I'm ready.
Your name? Tiffany Aisha Henyard.
I thought that she is the girl. She can change this thing.
She had a vision that was, it was just of hope.
I thought, yeah, it's great to have a young person, and she's real energetic, and her song and dance is really catchy. Let's give her the benefit of the.
Hey, this is Paul Roberts. This is the man that Tiffany Henyard filed a restraining order against. So look at him. This is the guy. He's pretty ominous, right? He looks like a foreboding fellow, right?
And so many other people felt the same way.
And it was something different, something new, something that can give the community hope. I thought that she was the best thing that can happen for Dalton.
And that's a good thing. It turned out to be a bad thing right away.
A new twist in the political drama in South suburban Dalton.
We want better in our community.
Ask them questions, they don't answer.
Too much stuff is happening in Dalton.
But this is what it's come to for us.
You need to go. You don't protect us. Unasked that seat.
You on people's tax dollars. You want to stand here and keep attacking people?
Their complete refusal to even consider letting us in on the numbers, what was being spent, who were they being spent with.
All of the lawsuits against Tiffany Henyard.
You had lawsuits, subpoenas.
My last memory was me waking up in his room.
Did he sexually assault that woman? Did he drug her?
I mean, you gonna answer, and you gonna answer me.
Hey, out of order. You out of order. You out of order. Hey.
This administration, you go to jail.
Even though they turned the mics off, we will continue working on behalf of the residents of Dalton.
Lori will get answers.
And the FBI know. They know everything you're doing.
She really felt that she was invincible.
If you want to have a little cat fight, we can handle this back then.
All right, so that's going to be starting in a few minutes. So I'm just going to, all right. And I mean, everybody thought that she was going to be the golden child. Everybody thought she was going to bring something different. And lo and behold, she brought something different. It just wasn't what they were, just wasn't what they were expecting. It says premiere is going to start shortly, so they're ready to roll. We ready to talk about it. Yeah, the fact that Lori Lightfoot was brought in to call you out should tell you everything you need to know about your administration. Now, apparently Lori Lightfoot was a really good prosecuting attorney, so I'm not trying to take away from her attorney skills. All I'm pointing out is Lori Lightfoot was a one-term mayor of Chicago, which they haven't had in many, many years. And then for her to turn around and be calling you out, that's saying something. That's saying just how shady and grimy you are. And Lori had to call you out. And actually, I think her report is going to be coming out soon. Her final analysis of like where all the money was being spent is going to be coming out soon. So that's going to be wild. And that's going to be before the election. Yikes. Yeah, thank you so much, Trace Lynn. I appreciate Trey Lynn. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, looks like they're ready to go. Let's go. Some reason I got like 9 beats playing in my ear. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I got it. It's playing in my ear, but it's not showing on the screen. And we resolved it. That's problem resolved. Can you drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear that? The usual YouTube beat. All right, I'm gonna get out of your way. Let's get out. I'm gonna get small here. Thank you so much, Amanda. Let's get ready to go. Thank you, everybody. We're gonna watch the chaos in Dalton live stream. I appreciate y'all. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that like button and please help me hit 50,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you. Clean House 2025. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, let's get at it. Let's get active.
I
State your name.
Tiffany Aisha Henyard.
I thought that she is the girl. She can change this thing.
She had a vision that was, it was just of hope.
I thought, yeah, it's great to have a young person, and she's real energetic, and her song and dance is really catchy. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. And so many other people felt the same way.
And it was something different, something new, something that can give the community hope. I thought that she was the best thing that can happen for Dalton.
And that's a good thing. It turned out to be a bad thing right away.
A new twist in the political drama in South suburban Dalton.
We want better in our community.
Ask them questions, they don't answer.
Too much stuff is happening in Dalton.
But this is what it's come to for us.
You need to go. You don't protect us. Unasked, that's C.
You on people's tax dollars, you want to stand here and keep attacking people?
Their complete refusal to even consider letting us in on the numbers, what was being spent, who were they being spent with.
All of the lawsuits against Tiffany Henyard.
You had lawsuits, subpoenas.
My last memory was me waking up in his room.
Did he sexually assault that woman? Did he drug her?
I mean, you gonna answer, and you gonna answer me.
Hey, out of order. You out of
When you
order. You out of order.
challenge
Hey.
this administration, you go to jail.
Even though they turned the mics off, we will continue working on behalf of the residents of Dalton.
Lori will get answers.
And the FBI know. They know everything you're doing.
She really felt that she was invincible.
If you want to have a little cat fight, we can handle this back there.
So if you could just give us an amount, I think that would help with our discussion and making a decision.
We don't have a problem with giving you an amount, but this is why sometimes people have to follow the leader. Because sometimes the leader is the visionary. It is what it is. Quiet. It is what it is. Quiet. The leader is the visionary. Sometimes people can't see down the tunnel. So sometimes this is why people follow people. So I'm just throwing that out there because everybody got an opinion. You just said, I can't see.
Thank you, man. Just get us
how it
information.
looks.
All right.
So all I do is just try to tell you what the vision would possibly be.
Not the typical way an elected official, especially a mayor, would run a meeting, but this is the way the government is run by Tiffany Henyard. I've been a reporter for more than 15 years. But for the past year, I focused a lot of my attention on the small community of Dalton. Dalton, Illinois is located about 20 miles outside of the heart of Chicago. Population, according to the last census, about 22,000. 90% of the people who live there are African American. So even before covering Dalton as a reporter, I knew a lot about this community because I grew up in the nearby community, the community of Harvey. So when I think about Dalton, I think about Harvey and growing up there. And I think about my parents and what brought them to the South suburbs. It was opportunity. It was jobs. They moved from the city's South Side and they said, this is the place we're going to raise our kids. It's safe here and it was affordable. They could afford to buy a house. And I think that was or is the draw for a lot of African Americans who want to leave the city and head to the suburbs.
How many years have you lived here?
35 years.
34 years as a resident of Dalton.
25. It's been a good 25-year run.
Yeah, for the most part, up until maybe the last couple of years.
What brought you to Dalton?
A combination of things. We had just gotten married. My wife and I just got married. We were looking for a house. This house kind of especially spoke to my wife, Camille. She really loved it. When we first moved here, we used to be able to walk all around here and ride our bicycles on the, over by the schools and the parks and whatnot.
Dalton was really nice. It was still clean, a nice, safe area at the time when I moved there.
But here's the problem with Dalton and some of the neighboring communities around it. They're underserved and there are a lack of jobs and a lack of industry. So you have a lot of people moving these communities for safety and for these resources that just aren't there.
Somehow some bullets did find their way into our house. Not in, but around our house.
Your house was shot up?
Yeah, the bullets were up there. That bullet told us that was from the dope dealers, I'm pretty sure. My wife, she heard it. I was asleep.
But yet you stayed.
Yeah, I'm not running.
You're proud of your house. It's a very lovely home. You're proud of this place?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the projects. I grew up in Robert Taylor homes. So this is utopia for me.
Dalton has been in the news a lot lately, but I want to take you back to 2021.
Hi, I am Tiffany Henyard, and I am running for mayor of Dalton.
She was a Dalton trustee. She grew up in the area, went to Thornridge High School. People thought she was the change this community needed.
She wanted to bring back unity in the community. So she wanted to make sure that she bridged the gap. She did a lot of knocking on doors, did a lot of trying to, talk to people, making those connections with people, just trying to make sure that she is the people's mayor. She did that.
She even went around to residents who had some issues with her. And, I know a couple of people who were like, I don't know, but she, assured people that she would work with her team.
I figured some young people needed to get in there and get their feet wet with the politics of everything.
But as a trustee, she butted heads a lot with the administration.
They're not on the agenda. We're going to go forward. We're going to go forward with today's agenda.
But I'm asking you that so that I have clarity for next time when I have agenda item.
And she would bait the last mayor into an argument. And they would go back and forth, and she would just blow stuff out of proportion.
I was asking next thing on the agenda, items on the agenda.
Next thing on the agenda is citizens' address.
So whether you were Team Tiffany or not, pretty much everyone can agree that she was something different for this community.
She gave us hope and belief that she was the person that was going to come in and basically help Dalton. And we believed it. We really sold into her vision.
At the time, I think she believed in her vision. I mean, because when she was breaking down what she wanted to do, she showed me this big calendar of events that she wanted to give back. She wanted to give away gas to residents, all of that. So I was under the impression like, okay, I think this young girl is onto something. She had a lot of energy, I tell you that.
And I wanted to make sure that the vision that she had come to fruition because Dalton deserved it. That's one thing we deserved.
She put together what she called her dream team. Now, on this team, you have trustee Jason House, trustee Kiana Belcher, and the village clerk, Allison Key. All these people are on the same ticket, so they all believed in Tiffany and what she wanted to accomplish.
We had tremendous hope. Tremendous hope. The fight for people was what was being sold. And you see that level of energy and passion, and you think, okay, this person has to be for the community.
I believed in this person. I ran on her ticket. She lets everybody know.
I was personally reluctant to do it, but I wanted to see our community get better. So I agreed to run on this ticket because I knew Jason, I knew Kiana. These were great people. And I said, if they're on this team, then I can get on this team.
So she wins the Democratic nomination. Fast forward to April 2021, she becomes elected mayor of the village of Dalton. She's the youngest mayor at the age of 37. She's also the first Black female mayor.
Once she became the people's mayor, she didn't do what she promised.
After I went to a few meetings, I saw, boy, did we ever screw up.
So a lot of people accuse Tiffany of misusing village funds, and it really started the day she was sworn into office.
Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the swearing in of the Honorable Tiffany Henyard, the first female and the youngest mayor of Dalton.
The village paid for it, up to $20,000.
You know, Dalton is not Chicago. This is a small community. Was this a needed expense?
And I will faithfully discharge
The duties of the office
the duties of the office
of mayor.
of mayor.
The minute the inauguration took place, it was obvious that ordinances were not going to be followed. And then the bills started coming in at the very first meetings. And they were like, well, you're not allowed to spend this, and nobody has approved this.
As you go down Sibley and you see those banners plastered all down Sibley, and we haven't even paid for them. Who in their right mind? If you go to other towns, you might see billboards and banners, but it's of heroes and things like that in the village. It's not everywhere you go, you see the mayor. It doesn't matter where you go. Her picture is plastered all over the village of Dalton. That's outrageous. And that's money being spent recklessly. Once again, we're paying for that.
Jason House and I had a conversation once, and Jason's remark was, well, I talked to her, let's give her a chance.
I,
State your name.
Jason House,
Having been duly elected to the office of trustee.
having been duly elected to the office of trustee,
I was on that ticket. I was asked many times to run for mayor, but at that time I elected against running for mayor. My decision of who I supported for mayor, I greatly regret.
and I'm here to give my support and endorsement for trustee Tiffany Henyard.
I bought into it hook, line, and sinker 100%. I thought that, okay, well, if you're saying talk to your board, work with your board, we're going to make sure all of this happens. And to see that it was lives.
We were all very excited. So we were thinking that this is going to be the youngest board in the history of Dalton to make great changes. And we were excited. And then we realized that she had other things in mind. What happened though? What was that pivotal moment? When we went as trustees, when we went to add items to the agenda, and they completely ignored us and didn't add our items to the agenda. And when we asked why they wouldn't add them, they just ignored us. So wouldn't provide us with any explanation.
Why my minutes are not being put on this agenda to be approved, I do not understand.
We have a new clerk for the village of Dalton, Miss Allison Key.
I've been a clerk for the past 3.5 years.
Describe those 3.5 years under this current administration. What's it been like for you?
Well, coming out the gate, I saw issues. And I tried to address them with the mayor, but she wasn't having it. And then those issues begin to continue to progress.
Clerk, what are you doing? You out of order. You out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please.
So when the mayor is constantly harassing me, I look at her as a small child. And why would I, as an adult, a senior citizen, why would I argue with a child? I too try to make points to understand, not just let her control the whole narrative, but I am not going to argue with a child. I raised 3 children. I have grandchildren. I don't argue.
But if being mayor of Dalton wasn't enough, Tiffany also gets appointed supervisor of Thornton Township, which is the largest township in the state of Illinois. And it's legal. In fact, that's where her self-proclaimed title of super mayor comes from. Supervisor and then mayor, super mayor.
I can't stand when she says that. I really want her to look in the mirror and look at herself and ask her, is that the face of a super mayor?
As mayor, she's in charge of all things Dalton. As township supervisor, she represents 17 different communities that make up Thornton Township.
One person is getting away with doing crazy stuff to an entire community and then now an entire township.
I originally started on to work for her as her publicist. And then the young lady who was her chief of staff quit. And then she offered me the position as chief of staff. So, I made sure that, all of her events were in order. Her messaging was consistent, things of that sort. So chief of staff essentially is nothing more than a publicist for the mayor.
So why'd you leave? What happened?
So my father-in-law became gravely ill, and I had to travel on weekends to go see him in Michigan. I'm under a lot of pressure, and my health was starting to take a toll, so much so I had a heart attack. We went to do bingo at one of the senior buildings on Good Friday in Dalton. My blood pressure, I asked one of the nurses to check. It was insane. I called, I said, I have to go to the hospital. Went to the hospital, confirmed I had a heart attack.
You had a heart attack at one of her events on Good Friday.
Yes. Yeah.
You call your boss, Tiffany, and you tell her this.
Actually, she didn't answer the phone. I ended up having to tell her security detail that I had to go to the hospital. I come back, it was maybe 2 days later. We have a meeting, and she said in front of this meeting with several people that that's not an excuse to call off of work. Next time, take my blood pressure medicine.
All of the trustees have their pictures up inside Village Hall. You can see them, except for one. And the reason being is Tiffany Henyard had her picture removed.
We have the Honorable Trustee-elect, Kiana Belcher.
During this administration as a trustee, because this is my first term, no, you're not being respected and you're not able to do your job. So my picture is not on the wall because I put her on blast. And when we came back from over the holiday, I'm sitting in the board meeting, look up, and I'm like, oh, my picture's not on the wall. I ask about the picture. Nobody seems to know what it is. I waited a couple of days, asked the employee, and the employee's like, oh, yeah, they took it down. And every time she walked past, she kick at it. Disrespect, absolutely. But as long as I'm an elected official, I should have my picture on the wall like everyone else. So now I bring my picture to the board meeting and sit it on my podium and let people know I'm still here.
But she's mayor.
And she's a petty mayor.
She has that statement that she constantly makes.
And most of y'all wouldn't even be a trustee if it wasn't from me backing you.
No, the people put those trustees there.
She asked them to run on her ticket because she knew that the community loved Jason House. They loved Allison Key. They liked Kiana, and they were all go-getters. And they did better in the polls than she did.
There were people, you'd go to their doors and they would say, I'm not voting for her. I'll vote for you. Yeah. But I'm not voting for her.
She would not have gotten as far as she did had they not supported her, because the people like that. They like those people.
Well, let's just start from the beginning. We were locked out of Village Hall.
You don't have keys to the Village Hall?
No, we do not. We've never had keys. The clerk had keys, and then they changed the locks.
And the mailboxes were moved outside, so they could not come inside.
Most of the time, they don't even give us most of the mail until after the fact, but the mailbox is outside. So it's a sense of entitlement. It's like The mayor is holding the village hall as her house.
She got inaugurated and then she had her first board meeting. And her very first board meeting, after they said the Pledge of Allegiance, the first thing out of Tiffany's mouth is, we're going to do things a little different. So she changed citizens' address to public comment.
You come up, you say your concern or whatever your question is, it will go to the appropriate department head. That department head will handle it, and they will respond in writing through email.
So with citizens' address, you speak and you ask questions and you get answers. And actually, citizens' address will come after the actual meeting, voting and all that. So if people had questions about things that they heard or wanted to talk about during the meeting, that will be the time. She changed it from citizens' address to public comment, and public comment is a little different. You just make a statement and no questions are answered, no back and forth or any of that.
There's been no work done. You haven't been over on our block. The street is split. There's water. People had floods in their basements, coming in their backyard, into their house. You've done nothing. You don't care about nobody but yourself.
And they do it at the beginning of the meeting now, so she can get it over with. And then people, have to listen to her speeches and all of that good stuff. So what she does during public comment is she'll just put her head down and she won't listen to anything. She won't acknowledge anything. I've seen mothers of murdered children and people who've lost family members in Dalton. She'll put her head down and she will not even acknowledge that the person is there because she doesn't like what they're saying.
So after a few months of this, you have residents, you have trustees, you even have the village clerk. They are raising red flags, but now they want to take action.
I'm an attorney, long time.
How many years?
I'm in my 52nd year.
What's your involvement with Dalton?
We were the village attorneys for 12 years. When Tiffany Henyard was elected, we got fired and we were hired by the majority of the trustees as legislative counsel, which means we represent the majority of the board, which means we represent the village of Dalton. After the people got a bit of a taste of the government that they had elected in Tiffany Henyard, residents asked the trustees, what can we do? And the trustees asking us, what can we do? At that point, the only mechanism that we saw was a recall.
But Tiffany wasn't having that.
To all my residents in the village of Dalton, y'all make sure y'all go and vote no to the recall because my work speaks for itself.
Bert, what is a recall?
A recall is a mechanism to allow people of the specific unit of government to take back what they've done. In other words, someone was elected, they're not doing the job that the people think that they should do. They're allowed to go to the ballot and recall them, get them out of office.
I remember somebody asked, because we were like, why you don't do recall? Because we could see where it was headed.
Where did this idea come from originally? Was it the board or was it a group of residents?
It was both. It was residents working with the board who said, what can we do? We're going down the wrong path. We devised the two questions and they both made it to the ballot without challenge.
They made it to the ballot?
Yeah, made it to the ballot. No one challenged it, made it to the ballot, and the election proceeded.
And I remember the day of the recall, it was hot. Everybody's been in the sun all day. And then the numbers start coming back and we had won it.
The numbers showed almost 2,000 people voted yes for the recall mechanism. And almost 2,000 people, 1,960, voted yes to recall the mayor. Two questions, both approved.
So a majority of voters support recalling Tiffany Henyard, but it doesn't happen. Why not? It's thrown out by a state appeals court.
They found fault with the wording in the questions. They then, even after knowing what the results were, the court found it was too confusing to be on the ballot, and it didn't have the correct wording and voided the results of the
So is
election.
the court saying that the voters didn't know what they were?
Yes. Didn't know what they were voting on. basically. Yes.
The people, even back then, did not believe that she was fit for this role. You were recalled. It didn't go through, but you were recalled. And a lot of people seen it back then. But the judge, the systems just did not allow it to happen.
This opinion was absurd. It took away the voice of the people. And look what we have now.
After she won that recall, she felt emboldened. She felt untouchable.
And I just want people to understand, I'm happy. Leave me alone, because I am.
I watched her turn into a monster.
Nothing y'all could do about it. Everything y'all try to do to me, guess what? Failed.
After she won the recall, she put a sign around town saying, "I'm your forever mayor," which pissed a lot of people off. And after that, it was all downhill.
You need to address what happened in Vegas, and you have been silent. And that's not going to fly. You know what happened in Vegas. You know what happened.
A lot of people ask me about Las Vegas. Let me take you back to May 2023. Tiffany Henyard takes a group of 13 people on a trip to Vegas for Economic Development Conference. Among the people on that trip, her assistant, Fania Dukes. One night, Fania goes out to have drinks with a village official, and that's when things take a turn.
We in the most dangerous areas at the most dangerous time at night.
If there's a crime scene in Chicago on the west side, south sides, if there's someone grieving, hurting from a shooting,
We are just concerned about the child right about now.
Andrew Holmes is the person who was always there. He's standing there with grieving families. He's holding their hands. He's walking them through the process as they try to talk to media and find out who did this to their loved ones. He was always there. And he also happens to be an elected trustee in the village of Dalton. And according to Fania Dukes, who was the mayor's former assistant, Andrew Holmes assaulted her on that trip in Vegas.
I deemed him the Uncle Drew. Like, I gave him the name, and it went all the way down to the mayor calling him Uncle Drew just regularly. That was just his name, because he made everyone feel comfortable. I've even been in places by myself with him, in cars, wherever, by myself, plenty of times before ever anything. And he's never gave me an inkling of he'll harm me, will make a pass at me. He's never done any of that. So yes, I deemed his Uncle Drew, because now I feel like if I step out of here and how I know you that you fight for these other people, these other victims and all of that, you have my back. I'm pretty sure I'm safe if I'm with you. And that was the relationship that he allowed me to take from him.
So on the last day of the conference, before everybody heads back to Dalton, there's a big dinner. And then after the dinner, Fania goes out for drinks with Andrew Holmes. What happens after that is detailed in Fania's lawsuit. It accuses Tiffany Henyard of retaliation, and it accuses Andrew Holmes of assault. Here's what the lawsuit says. She started to feel disoriented, blacks out. She woke up the next day in his hotel room. Physically, she was experiencing some discomfort, but she attributed it to her menstrual cycle. She didn't believe Trustee Holmes would have engaged in any inappropriate activity, and she never had any romantic or physical interest in Trustee Holmes. That same evening, Officer Byron Miles received a call from Andrew, who then began describing his exploits from the trip, many of a sexual nature. Officer Miles said Andrew then called him on FaceTime. He said Andrew had his shirt off and appeared to have exerted himself. Andrew then panned the camera toward a bed, and Officer Miles said he could see Fania Dukes in the frame, partially undressed. He says Andrew then moved the camera to various private areas of her body, displaying them on the screen and at times removing or moving articles of clothing. Officer Miles said he couldn't even tell at that stage whether Fania had consented or not, or was even capable of doing so. So after returning to Dalton, Officer Miles then calls Fania and tells her Andrew had unprotected sex with her in Vegas. So there's a meeting the next day where Fania explains what allegedly happened with Trustee Holmes. Tiffany reportedly told Fania that if this information were to get out, she would be ruined. All that she worked for, lost. She told Fania she'd take care of it. Trust her. Days later, Fania was put on unpaid medical leave. She was later fired.
She manipulated that young girl. She saw Fania is a young girl that's full of fight. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's talented. And Tiffany saw an opportunity to use her as a fighter. And then she left her hanging at the worst moment of her life.
Fania looked up to Tiffany, almost like a big sister or auntie. And remember, Tiffany is the one who brought Fania on that trip with her.
She took me under her wing. It was like mentoring. It was like learning different opportunities. Like I said, she was trying to coach me to let me know that this is the game. Like that's our favorite thing. This is the game. I'm teaching you the game, and I want you to be able to have opportunities that I had because I am the first Black woman mayor of Dalton, and you can be the one taking my seat. Like that was just one of those things that she always wanted. She always wanted to elevate herself, and then elevate people under her, which was what she said that she wanted to do.
So when this young lady allegedly gets assaulted on this trip in Vegas by an elected official, she goes to Tiffany, thinking, hoping that she was going to help her. But instead, she gets fired. And she says the entire thing gets swept under the rug. And of course, when residents start learning about Fania's story, they start asking a lot of questions at every board meeting.
To hear what they did to Sister Fania, to see them cover that stuff up, to hear that story.
Andrew Holmes, you're going to answer me, and you're going to answer the Dalton citizens. You work for me. My taxes pay your salary, and you owe me and the other citizens of Dalton a statement.
Residents are outraged, so they turn to a community activist to try and help them get some justice for Fania. So at one of the village board meetings, that activist, he tries to get some answers and ends up getting arrested.
Did you rape that woman? Did you put something in her drink? And damn it, you gonna answer, and you gonna answer me. Promise you that.
Hey, out of order, you out of order, you out of order, hey.
He was charged with a misdemeanor for resisting arrest. The next morning, he was released from jail.
It's an honor. It was an honor, and it is a privilege to have stood at that podium and demand an answer. Yes. And I'm gonna tell you, this didn't scare me. I'm only going to get louder. We're gonna get our answer, and we pray that the FBI and the police department of Las Vegas will give us our answer soon. Because it's been going on far too long. But Fania, I got your back.
As for Andrew Holmes, he was fired from his job as a crisis responder, but he wasn't fired from his job as a village trustee. He has not been criminally charged and declines to answer any questions about this investigation and about the allegations that Fania has made against him. And as for Fania, she isn't backing down in her fight to get answers, so she came to one of the village board meetings and confronts Andrew herself.
Why would you do that? And if I'm lying, all these people right here on the cameras, her, all these people, tell them I'm lying then. Is that why you've never said anything? Is that why you disappeared as soon as this came out? Is that why? I'm supposed to be scared of you?
But you also have the trustees, and they want answers. So they vote to bring in someone, a special investigator. Who's that someone? The former mayor of the city of Chicago, also a former federal prosecutor, Lori Lightfoot.
People in this village want something different, want to go in a different direction.
Trustees hired Lori Lightfoot to look into Tiffany's spending habits, how she was using taxpayer dollars, and to find out what happened on that trip to Vegas.
The residents of Dalton deserve nothing less than a government that is fully accountable, responsive, transparent, and effective stewards of your
precious tax dollars.
Tiffany tried, though, everything she could to prevent this investigation of her from happening.
You know, it's veto power. So how dare you think you could come in someone's town and start working or doing something, even though we said something stating it's illegal.
Even turning down Lori's mic at a meeting.
Trustee House. Aye. Trustee Holmes.
So Lori comes into one of the board meetings, right? Tiffany does not want to let her speak. So then Lori wants to address residents, and she goes to the mic, and it's suddenly cut off.
What I will say is that it's an honor to be working on behalf of the residents of Dalton. We have not rested while
You was once a mayor too. You should not even be disrespectful like that.
anyone to stop us
Let's
and
say.
obstruct our ability to get to the facts.
Okay, y'all done?
Did you catch what Tiffany said? She is trying to shut Lori down at a meeting. She doesn't even want her to speak.
You was once a mayor too. You should not even be disrespectful like that.
But despite Tiffany's best effort, this investigation, it continues.
This has been a challenging investigation, to say the least, because we have not received the level of cooperation from the mayor and her team that I would have hoped.
In front of a large group of residents, she presents her findings. And she basically says, Dalton is drowning in debt.
As we mentioned, the general fund is used to account for the majority of the village's day-to-day operations, including payroll and vendor payments. The village's general fund was in a net deficit position.
But that wasn't always the case.
In, I believe it was 2016, Dalton did fail to pay its municipal bond debt. But then after 2016, it cleaned itself up and was actually in very good shape going into the pandemic and going through the pandemic. But now, of course, its financial status has gotten a lot worse.
The village started as of April of 22 with positive of $5.6 million in the general fund, and where we are as of May of 2024, which is a negative 3.65 million.
So at that same meeting, Lori drops another bomb, and it's about the village's 6 credit cards.
We want to highlight a couple of credit card purchases. You're having the same reaction that we did when we saw that.
Lori says one credit card has more than $40,000 in charges on the same day to Amazon.
The village does not have an Amazon account. These are somebody using one of the credit cards and charging these amounts using your account.
The struggle for transparency in this village government, it is real. But it took Lori stepping in for residents to finally get some truth.
It's a bad place when you have accounts getting frozen. You have over, I think, 10 to 15 FOIA lawsuits, which that's just not turning over information.
While Lori was looking into Dalton's finances and what happened in Vegas, federal officials were also looking into things. We obtained copies of grand jury subpoenas from an attorney very familiar with Dalton. These subpoenas requested financial records, personal records, and disciplinary files from the village and the township.
Investigations take as long as they have to take. Lawyers have to dot every I and cross every T before they do an indictment. That's not the way to preserve financial stability in a community. It's really through state intervention.
The federal authorities, as you may know, are involved and investigating. I've read that. I think that's a public piece of information. There is an investigation that's been called for, and now I know there was a veto that was overridden that will now allow that investigation to go forward with former Mayor Lori Lightfoot in charge of that. I think that those are two pretty good authorities for looking into this, investigating it, and getting to the truth.
I was a little disappointed to see Governor Pritzker's reaction to the situation that, well, you know, we have Lori Lightfoot in there and we have the FBI investigating. That's really not taking responsibility. I mean, in the next few months, if it hasn't happened already, you know, all of Dalton's financial resources could be looted
The governor wouldn't have said anything if that reporter hadn't called him out that day. Now, that's my belief on that. We don't matter to them. We're small fish. He's going to win the election. Our votes count, but he could win it without our votes.
When people say coming to save us, we just want them to do what they're supposed to do.
This is about wrong. People are saying that the higher ups won't come for her because she's a single woman and a Black woman. She's always playing that female card, a single female. There are plenty of single females, but this is and Black single females. This is about wrong.
And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a Black woman that's empowered. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Because you're Black now, you can't be held accountable for other Black people? Majority of Dalton is Black. Black people didn't suffer through Jim Crow to get the right to vote, to get political positions, and then get in here and act like this.
And then every time you would oppose them, she would pull out the thing, y'all need to leave me alone. I'm a Black woman, a young Black woman, and yada, yada, yada. We got so many strong, dynamic Black women, and for you to use them like that, first it made me sad, then I got pissed off.
It has nothing to do with shaming a Black woman in power, nor shaming the super mayor, as you so infinitely call yourself.
People say, oh, well, white politicians been doing this whole time. That don't make it right. It was wrong when they did it.
I love my people just as much as anyone else, probably too much. But the fact of the matter remains, we have bad people among us, we have good people among us. If we cannot get together to deal with the ones that are really dragging us down, which I consider this administration is doing right now, then we have no hope. If all that person has to say, I'm Black, you can't talk to me about that. That makes no sense to me, none whatsoever. And people that fall for that, to me, they are not paying attention to what's really going on around them.
And I mean, she's doing it openly. This should be a lesson for anyone in politics or anyone who is voting. If a person is put in a position and they can do whatever they want just because they're an elected official, that's scary.
So let me ask you this. When is the last time you've been to your community's village board meeting or city council meeting? Over the years, I've covered numerous meetings, but not like Dalton. There is no shortage of people who come to these meetings. And even though Tiffany has tried to use her power to block people from attending these village board meetings, on the day that they're held, they're there. But what they're up against? Barricades, police, blocked streets, but residents still show up. And these village board meetings, they fill up fast. There's limited seating, and while they're going on, you can still hear the people outside. Sometimes they're banging on the doors and windows, trying to get their voices heard. Everyone really wants to be here, and they won't let anything stop them. One of those people, Vivian Allen.
I was diagnosed in November of 2022 because I had a meningioma brain tumor. My brain tumor is like 80% of my brain. They said, if I don't get surgery, I'm going to die. That's exactly what they said. I have 4 brain surgeries. So for me to even be able to just be sitting here talking to you, I'm a walking miracle. If you ask any of my doctors, they will tell you that they're surprised that I can still even talk and that I can still even function as a 45-year-old adult because nobody thought I would live. Every time I go to a meeting, I just get enraged because I just think about the lies that she told.
Sometimes she comes in with a walker, but she is very outspoken.
What about us? What about our fears? What about our tax dollars?
I think about the money that she's taking from us taxpayers. I think about all the family members and friends that live in Dalton. So when I go there, my passion is coming from a place of Dalton. It's coming from a place of, this is where I grew up, and I'm going to come to every meeting. Until she steps down, I'm definitely coming to every meeting. And a lot of people say, stay at home, stay at home. You don't need to be at those meetings. But I do. I'm going to come and say what I got to say, but I'm going to look her in the face every chance I get because Dalton deserves it.
The people who live in Dalton want what we all want. They want to be able to go to the grocery store, different restaurants, not walk down the street and see a bunch of blight and boarded up buildings and storefronts. They just want this community to be all that it can be.
Dalton was thriving. I used to come to Dalton from the city to restaurants. You had the steakhouse, you had the Baker Square. We got nothing. We've lost our restaurants, we've lost stores, things of that nature.
You know, Illinois needs better laws to, empower state agencies to get involved when these kinds of things happen. Without that, we are really reliant on the public. And I've been very impressed with how people in Dalton have stepped up and provided really strong public comments. It's amazing how much research people are doing. I live in California, and I find that when I attend a public meeting, most people are very ignorant. They don't really follow the details of what's going on with the community. And yet here you have a lot of actively engaged citizens. It's very impressive.
We're talking about people who work their jobs, then get off and go to these meetings, mothers and fathers, people using walkers, senior citizens who are determined to get to these meetings. They're using their phones to share information, to broadcast what is happening, to keep others informed. These are some of the most informed people I've ever met.
You got retired people who have their homes, who own their homes, who live here, and they just want peace. I mean, it's no different from any area or any suburb in the South suburbs.
She kicked me out of the house. I can come over here. Right. When we came out here to live, I had visions of, kicking my feet up and getting a belly with the beer and all that. You can't do that. There's just too much stuff going on.
It's so hard to ignore. We got into this fight relatively late, less than a year ago. But there are some people like Sherry Hatcher-Britton, Mary Avant, Valeria Stubbs, who are bringing to light some of the things Tiffany was doing even before she was appointed township supervisor.
I just started questioning people and talking to people. And then when I started going to the meetings, they started getting more and more hostile.
Hold on, you out of order. If you want to have a little cat fight, we can handle this back there.
You can see Tiffany standing up at the Thornton Township meeting, telling security,
Remove her. Remove her. Remove her.
Dalton is worse than the township because she's deputized the police department there. If you applaud for a public commenter, that's disruptive.
And you were clapping and you got kicked out.
Yes, personally by the police chief.
Do you get worked up at the meetings?
Yeah, it's probably too much. Probably too much. But I don't know, I just care so much about it. I hate bullies. I always have. I hate bullies. And I get impatient with people that let bullies do this to them. I just don't have the patience for that. Why don't you all stand up to this?
I continued this fight because nobody else would help us join this fight. And nobody else saw the impact that she was doing to Dalton. Nobody cared enough to understand what Tiffany Henyard was doing to our city.
There's this big concern about the loss of local newspapers and hyper-local media. And it seems that social media, YouTube, people posting on X and TikTok, that is really filling the void, especially in the Dalton situation. And you're now seeing it, I think, in other cases of government mismanagement in Cook County. So I think it's very exciting that the cost of being a social commentator and getting your voice out there is really going down. And a lot of people are taking advantage of that.
You've got YouTubers, people on Facebook, TikTok, doing what local newspapers used to do. They are the new crop of journalists focused on hyperlocal issues and dialogue. YouTubers specifically are providing commentary, interviews, and coverage of those village board meetings, and you have people from all over the country consuming this information.
But a lot of people now are united around getting our town back. And me and Kiana were not cool at all. We were not cool at all. We laugh about it to this day. But yeah, so it's uniting a lot of people in Dolton that per se weren't united before. That's the best thing that's coming out of this.
We've made a lot of new friends. That's one of the best things I can say about Tiffany. Her outrageous behavior has spawned a whole people's movement like we've never seen in our lives.
What's the lesson? What's the message here to other small communities, other villages, municipalities?
Well, take some inspiration from the citizens of Dalton who are acting as watchdogs. Look at the finances of your community. Look at how the town board or council is operating, and make sure that your tax money is being used wisely, because in many cases in Illinois and elsewhere, it looks like it's not.
Other people are looking at their towns that they weren't looking before. And I say, you could be next. You could be next. Don't think this can't happen to you, because we didn't think it could happen to us. But this should be a sign or warning for people that this could happen to them too.
I think that the people that are in control of this, really, they didn't think that residents from Dalton would go, hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? What is this? And we have to hold everybody accountable, because if we don't do that, we'll stay in this rut. And we just have to make sure whoever is in office, no matter who it is, we are not going to stand for another administration like Tiffany Henyard.
And that is exactly why one of her most vocal critics is running against her.
I'm here to proudly announce my candidacy for mayor of Dalton Federal.
But the reality is, another Tiffany Henyard administration isn't entirely off the table. Despite the investigations and the lawsuits, the super mayor is confident she'll be elected again. Just as another embattled political figure did recently, Tiffany's hoping to make her own stunning comeback.
Because guess what? Just like Trump, I'm going to come in on a landslide on both seats. Know that. Remember this moment when I landslide and come in for the victory like I always do.
Oh, they're back. Oh, sorry. Man.
To you as both personal and in your role as mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you much. You serve.
Anytime. Appreciate it. I get sued all the time. Y'all stop it.
Shout out. That was pretty good. Shout out to Regina Waldrop and the team over there. That was good. That was a lot of good information. Let me give them a second. I don't think there's going to be any mid-credit scenes. This is not a Marvel movie, Jason. Yeah, look, that was you live in Thornton? Hey, if you live up there, y'all are welcome to email me. Make sure you email management, dearwokec@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your stories. If you would like to have an opportunity to talk, or if you have contact with some of the people that we've seen in these videos, hey, help your boy out. I'd love to have them on and talk to them. Yeah, I feel like there was a lot that she didn't talk about. I feel like it was a good, well, I think the point, Dwayne, just my 2 cents, is realize that there are tons of us that have watched this from, all the way from the Vegas trip or the recall trip, but there's a ton of people that haven't. They're just kind of figuring out like, oh, there's a lot of, this was a good primer for everybody to get everybody on the same page. That's my assessment. I thought it was a great summary to get you like, everybody caught up. Everybody could say, "Oh, I know what's going on over there in Dalton." Now, granted, there's still more that could have been said, but I think that was good for everybody. Low hanging, an easy way for people to get on and understand what's going on here. And given the fact that there's so much shenanigans going on, there's so many people not paying attention with the lawsuit and then retracting the lawsuit and the raucous caucus, all that kind of stuff like that. This was a good one for everybody to get caught up to. Thank you so much, Cheryl. That was very good. That was well worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the team over there. What did we see here? I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Like, I would love for them to talk more about some of those bribes that she did, because she got in trouble even at the beginning when she ran for mayor, because she did a gas giveaway and she used Dalton and billed Dalton for it. So not Dalton, I'm sorry. Yeah, Dalton. Yeah, Dalton. The village of Dalton. Yes. Yeah, there's lots of good conversation back here. No, she didn't get in this by herself. She had a lot of help, and I don't think Miss Waldrop really exposed some of the key players that have helped her, because she talked about Andrew, but there were a lot of other people. Chief Lacey, the dude, what's his name? Keith Price, not Keith Price. Keith. She had another guy named Keith, and there was the village attorneys. There were a lot of people that played roles in this, and I kind of wish they had talked about those as well. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's national news. So it's not just, some guy in Atlanta talking about it. This was national news. So this is on a big scale. And yes, that's his name. Thank you so much. Keith Freeman. Thank you, Felicia. Yeah, so I mean, there were a lot of other key players that have participated in her shenanigans, that have left her team, that have moved, that have actually become whistleblowers. I think Keith Freeman is a whistleblower now. So there's a lot of that, and I don't know. Maybe there's gonna be a second part. I don't know, but now just imagine that this is sitting out there as she's trying to campaign to run for Dalton, and the people of Dalton can see this in 4K. The people in Chicago and outlying cities can see this in 4K in real time. I think that was, I thought it was really good. All right, let's see. Lots of good back and forth. She drug my mom out bed after she had chemo all day and drug her to the caucus. Really? Yay. The raucous caucus. I mean, that's craziness, man. Oh no, Sandy, there's we know more. So we know that there's definitely more. And what does Sandy say? She says the reporter did a good job, but the best believe there's more to come from her. The reporter is smart and she's not putting all her stuff in one basket. Amen. I like Regina. And now when you realize that Kamal Woods, when Tiffany Henyard did that press conference and Kamal Woods was talking to somebody, that he was talking to Regina Waldrop. I wonder, did they know just how bad this video was going to be and exposing them? Because again, they haven't talked about the scratch of the surface of some of the missed money management. If she just does one on missed money management alone, it's going to be pretty bad. Yeah, I hope so. I hope that a lot of people, thank you so much. This is great positive fuel. People can use that. I hope so. What do you say here? I'm waiting on the next episode. Expose Keith Price, William Moore. Who's William Moore? Keith Freeman. I remember him. Michael Smith, DeMarcus Quigley, Kamal. Yeah, she got a lot. Lacey, the police officer. She ain't talk about the police detail. We didn't talk. I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. Oh, it's coming. I agree. It's gonna be good. But so yeah, that was it. I'm glad that y'all got a chance to check that out and had some good feedback. I don't think so, Jan. I don't think that it's actually legal to do that, because if I was running for Cobb County dog catcher and I go get the senior citizens from the various and sundry places and transport them in Cobb County buses to vote for me to be Cobb County dog catcher, that would seem like it's problematic, because I'm using because somebody who's running against me should be able to use that too. Then, like, it seems problematic. So then, if that be the case, then that adds more context to why Kamal Woods was so upset that day when he was talking to her, because we know now. Yeah, it's not legal to do that. What'd you say there? She is a living assistant and charges accounting for. Wow. Yeah, for sure. Now, if you do live in Dalton or one of their outskirts and you have insight that you would like to share, or you have access to, again, Ed Steve or Jason House or any of them, and say, hey, Jason would love to talk to you. I deputize you to shoot me an email. If it's a contact number or whatever like that, I'll reach out to him. I drop my email down there as well. I'd love to reach out to him and have him come on and talk. I'd love to hear. And I thought it was funny that Regina said, like, we are the new media. People are getting their news from sources like these, not just from the mainstream media and the big, was it the big five or whatever like that, news sources, which is kind of crazy. Not saying I'm worth anything, but I'd love to talk to him. FBI will do investigation on his funds and personal business. I hope so. I really want them to do it. Yeah, Ed Steve's drive to support the village of Dalton was pretty encouraging. So shout out to him. Well, actually, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, Sunshine. Thank you so much. But everybody, that was a lot of fun. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I really appreciate you. Thank you again for hitting the like button. Thank you for being a part of the best live chat on the internet, keeping everything fun and moving in the right direction. Shout out to, again, Chicago 5, NBC 5 for this. This was a really good expose. I'm glad we watched it together. So looking forward to doing that again real soon, everybody. This week, we got a couple of YSL hearings coming up, as well as tons of videos around this topic. And we're getting close to Christmas. The year is almost over. I can't believe we're only, what, 15, 16 days away from the end of the year. Who would have thought? This year has been so long. So much craziness is going on. But we're almost at the end. So shout out. Man, thank you so much, Wyoming Girl, for the very kind $10 super chat. No comment, no question, just pure love of the game. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody for rocking with us. Thank you so much for putting up with my moving my times up and stuff like that. I saw that Tiffany Henyard's dream team, and I saw Jason House. I said, oh, this is gonna be fun to do a comparison. So I'm glad y'all got a chance to check that out. So thank you so much for rocking with me. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, let's do this again real soon, everybody. How about we I know we got, again, like I said, I know we got some YSL things coming up this week. Got a couple of updates on some things that have been going on in the zeitgeist and such like that. Caitlin Clark talking about some BLM. Got some good things. If y'all could check it out, I really would appreciate it. Oh, by the way, for the end of the year, I'm doing a video series called Dear 2024. It's a playlist on my channel. I'm just dropping a quick video talking about reflections and things I've learned this year. I'd love to hear what y'all think about it. Maybe some things that you've learned or such like that. A simple, fun playlist. I'm dropping a video every day, so check it out. And again, it's called Dear 2024. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mandy. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, Bitter Lily. I thank y'all. Wait, they got it tomorrow? You know the meeting tomorrow for the objections. Wait, are you for real? I thought, oh, that was the Thornton one. You're right. Oh, what time is that? Is that during the day? The gold mic giveaway. That thing is crazy. Why does she have a golden microphone? She's not even trying to hide some of her ostentatiousness. Like, I'm just over the top. I'm not even trying to pretend like I'm not over the top. Like, that's just, it's so gross. It's so wild. Yeah, we'll stream it for sure. Okay, what time? 3 o'clock? We'll find it. We'll make sure we have it. We'll stream it tomorrow. Okay, that'll be fun. Yes, I agree with you right here. Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate you stopping through this evening. And I'm going to end right here. Mama Bear says, everyone, have a great rest of your weekend. I agree. Please email me. Thank you so much, friend. That's right. Oh, let me talk about that real quick. YouTube is not very friendly with my reading of those court cases. Remember, I read yesterday those lawsuits and did a live stream on it, all that kind of stuff like that. YouTube didn't like that, and they literally took down both of my videos about it. So I won't be reading any more lawsuits. However, I am going to download all the lawsuits, and I'm going to put them on my Buy Me a Coffee page. I'll make sure everybody knows where to find them. If you want to read them yourself or whatever like that, they're available to everybody. I'll just make sure that they're available for you. Make sure everybody has access to them. I'm going to finish that up, and we'll have that before the end of the day tomorrow for sure. Everybody, thank y'all so much. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna go figure out what the team is doing, make sure they're ready for school and work tomorrow. So everybody have a fantastic rest of the night. God bless you. And until then, grace and peace. Take care.
Yo, hit that like for a deal with Christian. Yo, for a deal with Christian. Smash that bell for the Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for a deal with Christian. For a deal with Christian. Smash that bell for the Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for a deal with Christian.